You know, these condos that you buy for investment, maybe I should be talking about that. The associations are limiting rentals, you know, because people that live there, they complain and they don't want tenants moving in, moving out. You bought it as an investment, and so you pay the price, and now that rules change and the price comes down because of it.
The grandfather window, like if you're
For you, yes, when you're gonna be selling, it's gonna be worth less. When you're gonna go refi, different, the numbers don't work as much. Yeah, when you're gonna sell, the number of buyers is a little different now.
has your perspective changed? Like, damn, I shouldn't have bought so many condos. I should have.
Start with condos is okay, to get a certain amount is fine, but naturally you shift. But even if you stay with condos, it's also fine. You just have to understand and what you're getting into. Like, you really don't own land. You have a condo, there is association, there's less management. It's like riding a bike with the training wheels. A lot of times you didn't get full value for it. They don't go up as much in price. You don't control pricing. You get a lot of competitors like you, and you get a board on top of you that makes decisions, you know. So it's kind of like you're a franchisee. You're kind of an entrepreneur, but you're kind of not, because you're getting the systems and processes. You're entrepreneurial, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of like an investor, but you kind of investorial. You know, you're not an investor yet. You're trying to be. You're thinking like one, because you want to control. You really won't find any billionaire or like multimillionaire who owns a bunch of condos. You know, they usually like to control everything. They like to buy the complex and own all of it. You know, or they buy multiple buildings or multiple single family and then don't have anybody on top of it, because then they make a decision and ruins a lot, you know.
After HOA fees, after taxes, after all that stuff. Like,
You have like 6 condos. The HOA fees on 6 condos are more expensive than maintenance on a 6-unit building that you own yourself. Because right, there's 6 condos. There's the management. There's some handy guys. There's accountant. All these people need to be paid, so it has to be factored in the HOA payments.
let's say you buy a condo,
Yeah.
right? And you rent out the condo, and then all of a sudden there's a letter on the door that says, "Hey, the hallways are outdated. We're gonna be updated."
Yeah.
Hallway, like obviously that costs on you.
Not necessarily. It could be in the budget. Could be in the budget, and you will know it because you can read the budget. You can see what's in there. You change balconies, changing elevator, changing the roof. Sometimes it's not projected, and that's why it's raises the HOAs. But what if you own a house and you need to change the driveway? You pay for it too. It's out of pocket, the full price. There, it's spread around everybody, and sometimes it's amortized over like 10 years. It's like everybody complains, but you're gonna use it.
Would you eat the cost, or would you tell your tenant, "Hey, they're doing this, so I gotta charge you more"?
No, you gotta eat the cost. You raise the rent when the lease expires.
How do you factor all these things in? Your
Yeah, you calculate all expenses, and then you see what you can rent it for, and you see how much money you're gonna make a month. Let's say it's making $300 a month, and then for some reason there's now new expense that shows up.
No, but you buffer that in.
No, you don't buffer that in. You don't. If you do a bunch of wiggle room, then you will have to increase the rent, and if you increase the rent, then you can't rent it.
I'm gonna add an additional like $100.
Right. You add it, and then nobody comes and rents it. The rent is what the rent is. It's the market that determines the rent. It is what it is. You know, if you start factoring and adding up, you can't rent it. Then you sit vacant.
So you rent for the same thing that everybody else would do.
Well, if my condo is better, then I rent it for more. But if it has to be better, not because I have some issues. Your issues are your issues. That's what what it is. It has that cushion of the monthly cash flow. You know, you don't buy the property that breaks even. You buy the property that cash flows positive. So that positive cash flow is not all the money that goes in the bank. That has some cushion for some mistakes. Got it?
Yeah.
So if you're making $300 a month in cash flow, that doesn't mean it's $300 that goes into your account and then you can buy, pay a car for. It goes into account, and then if there's expenses unexpected, that's when that account pays for that. And so then it becomes not 300 but 200, and sometimes it's $50 because you have a bunch of issues in the place.
So let's say cash flows $200. Right?
I would, yeah, $200 per unit. Like if I buy I wouldn't buy a condo right now, but if I buy like a 6 flat that cash flows $1,200 a month, I would consider.
Like when you were buying condos, what was your minimum?
100 to 200 bucks. 100 200 bucks usually that would be my number. Now it would be more because I can get more. If you buy a condo, you'll just have to go a little bit further. $300 $400 you can get it. But if it cash flows 100 and it's in a good area, the prices go up, I'll still maybe take it. 100 maybe too low, maybe 200. 200, yeah. Then it makes more sense.
$200 to do all that work for $200 a month.
There's no work. What's work? Where's the work? But you forget about this. First it's 200 bucks. Then your loan comes down because tenants are paying down your loan. Well, they pay you and you pay the loan. So that's another profit. Then the price goes up because it naturally will go up. From 100, then it becomes 103, 105. My first condo I bought in 2017, I paid 84. Now it's probably 150. 5 years, roughly, 6. So you have cash flow, principal reduction, it's paying down the loan, appreciation, and all that. Plus, at the end of the year, you have to write off the depreciation and any repairs and anything like that, you write it off because it's an investment. HOAs, taxes, all that stuff. Interest on mortgages, all of it, you write it off against your income. So you have 4 income streams. You got it?
What?
Not only 200 bucks a month. Not only 200 bucks a month. Because then your condo now, the one, let's say that example, 84,000. Right now I owe on it 65 and it's worth 150. So I have 90,000 in there. I put 5% down. I put $4,000. Now I have 90 in there. So that's something that plus the cash flow. You get money back. At the end of it, it helps you pay less taxes. Yeah, it helps you pay less taxes. So pretty much you don't get the money back. You don't really get to touch the money. It's just you pay less because of it. That's one. Then you get the real cash in the pocket in terms of cash flow. And then you get it on the paper when the price goes up and the loan comes down. Then you can go back to the bank and say, hey, I have 90,000 in value in my condo. Can you do the refi and give me a check? And they will do that. They will do 75% of what the value is of your home. Let's say it's a 150 of the condo. 75% of that is going to be 120 minus 60. I could get 60,000 in check from the bank. Just 60 grand. Here it is. It's almost like flipping, but you get to keep the condo or house, whatever. You know, we were just talking about the condo. You got the game? That's the game. And then imagine if you're playing with 8 million numbers, not the 80,000.
Now you're barely breaking.
Okay, so first, when you buy in a place, you can see the reserves. You can see if they're breaking even or they're making money. That's number one. If it's a complex or whatever little building that you're buying and their reserves are at 0, you have to be cautious because they will be going up. You have to understand when you're walking in. Because if you're not buying and you're not expecting to walk in, either you have a bad realtor or you're not hiring a realtor or you're a realtor, you don't know what you're doing. But you have to understand that when the reserves are low, that means HOA will go up. How much they will go up, then that's the problem. You have to see the previous years and see how big in the hole they are. See if there's any big issues that's coming up. And kind of like see, oh, well, it's going to be a hole. I'm not going to make money on it. Plus, if the HOA is not really managing, the place seems not very attractive, so rents are not going to be that high. So it all comes to place.
Do you have a condo that the cash flow changed?
I have one condo that I bought for very cheap, and it needs a lot of work. And I rented it right away for the same condition. I just rented it, and I start making $10 a month. Pretty much breaks even. Then the HOAs would go up, and I would slowly raise the rent every time they renewed, you know, and just to catch up, just to still be breaking even. And then she moved out and I remodeled the whole thing and I raised rent by 400 bucks. So now 425 bucks.
Where the rest of the condos or
I'm a little bit more because I remodeled. Everything's new and nice. No really cut corners. I added more stuff. The things are a little bit higher end maybe. And yeah, I'm breaking the records over there for rental prices, but I think it could be even still higher. I tried even higher a little bit. I have to lower a little bit. But now I'm happy. Now I'm getting like 300 bucks a month cash flow.
What rent's better? A 2-bedroom condo or 1-bedroom condo?
If it's a 3-bedroom condo, I think that's the loser. Because one thing, 3-bedroom condo is going to cost more much more than a 2-bedroom. It's not gonna rent for much more, but it's gonna have a lot of cost for utilities because there's gonna be a lot of people in there. 3-bedroom, usually it's gonna be a family. It's gonna require a lot of maintenance. It's gonna require a lot of plumbing calls. And another one I was gonna say, the 3 bedrooms. Those people who are looking for 3 bedrooms are looking for yards a lot of times. So you will probably have your 3-bedroom condo. You will have to drop the price on to rent it. So you're gonna be losing money on all the ends. Your utility costs are gonna be higher. Your cost per unit will be higher, and the cost for rent will be not much higher than a 2-bedroom. Depends. If the gas or heat is included in HOA, let's say, then tenants don't pay. If the owner of the building pays, if you own the building and then you provide the heat, then the owner bills are high because they're included. There's no way to separate it. It's only one bill for the whole building. So you pay, you just up the rent. Okay, you up the rent, but it's not renting, so you have to down the rent and still have to pay for the gas. In the building, my building, I'm controlling that. All the windows must be closed. Thermostats are only up to 72, no more than that, because you know my bills are gonna go high. When you have a good location, it rents out quick and rents out fast for good money.
So you thought you were gonna get, and then what? Like, give me a breakdown.
I'm doing good on that Crystal Lake. The one we shot a video for, the one that we remodeled, we did a video before and after. Yeah, I'm breaking the record on that one too. I think I'm renting it for 1,100 over there, 1 bedroom. I picked it up for 80,000. I did a lot of those 80,000 deals. I have 60,000 deal. I have a $50,000 deal with a mortgage.
So you bought it for
The problem with the cheap deals, here's the problem. You can have a cash flow, but they're not being paid down. They're not getting principal reduction. Every year, look at the loan, it's 50,000. Next year, look at the loan, it's 49,000. Like, man, it's the same thing. Next year, look at it, it's 48,000. And then year 10, year 11, it starts slowly coming down faster. But that's the problem with bank loan. You don't really get much appreciation, much principal reduction. You're really looking at the little money, but you get the cash flow. But you don't get that spread, that equity that you can, when you sell, you get a chunk of money to move. You don't get it with condos, with cheap condos. You get it?
So you bought it 89,000. How much?
I bought it 80,000 and I put 20 in there, so I'm in like 100,000. Renting for 11 or 1150. I don't remember. I think 1150. It's a teacher that works at the school nearby, and she just keeps renewing. When was it? 2 years ago or 3? The same lady's still there. She's a teacher. She actually didn't have no credit history. I gave it to her with no credit history, but she gave me a letter from the school, and I called the school. School says, yeah, she's legit, so she keeps paying.
You had a condo fail happened not too long ago. The one.
Oh, the condo. I got it off market. I got a call that somebody wants to sell. I come in, and she says, I just want to sell it. I don't want to put it on the market. I want to sell it for whatever. So I gave her the price. I bought it for 100,000. She understands that it could be sold for more on the market. Maybe not, but you have to prepare and get it going on the market. She decided to sell it for 100,000 cash. So that's what I got for 100 cash. I put in the work. I put probably like 120, and I was gonna keep it and rent it. But while I was doing the work, the HOAs went up $70. It was already high. It was 630 plus the garage plus $70,000 higher, close to $800 on a 100,000 condo. It's crazy. It's too much money. And so I was gonna like, maybe I keep it, maybe not. But I thought that if I sell it, I pull the 100,000, a little more. I'll use it somewhere else. So I decided to sell it. I sold it for a little profit, not much. I made like 13,000 with profit. But amount of work it took to do the work, do the repairs, come back, and it's everything by permits, everything with the building. You have to go, you have to the elevator, you have to order it all the time. It's a high rise, it's like 7th floor. Then it took me 2 months to sell it too, because we were like in this time, like February, trying to sell it. We went on the contract, I think in December, we closed in February, something like that. So yeah, it was not a very successful thing. It took me like 2 months from beginning to an end, but I still made money. You still made money. It's all about buying right. Even though the HOAs went up on me big time, even though it didn't go as planned, but I still made money. And if I kept it as a rental, I would probably be making like $100 a month. because the HOAs would be eating everything. I bought it because there was a spread when I was buying, like whichever way I'll still be okay, I won't lose, but there's a chance to make, and then the chance disappeared, so I still came out clean and dry.
Motivation though, like why didn't you?
Because the cash flow disappeared.
So in the building you have now, are you cash flowing?
Cash flowing, but I still have one vacant unit that needs to be rented out, and that's the pure cash flow that's waiting on me. And right now I'm having a little bit hard time of renting it. We remodeled it, put like 30 grand in remodeling, and right now it's just sitting vacant. It's January, and I think not many people are looking right now. So we're not getting too many bites. There's some people that came, look at it. We wanted 2,100. Now we're asking for 2,000. I think if we pull it off, I need the number. I need that number because I need it for the bank. Because if I'm gonna go back to the bank and ask them for refinance, I want to show them what's possible. Because that's what they look at. They look at rents and buildings. They look at how much actually you're bringing. If I can show that I can pull 2,000 here, 17 there, 1,750 there, these money there, then they're gonna see, well, you increased the value of your building because I bought it when these rents were 1,200. That unit that I have right now for 2,000, it used to be 950. Then they moved out. We remodeled. We're asking for 2,000. If I can get it, then I'll wait a little bit, have them season, get some cash flow coming in, and then while the rates are coming down, I think they're coming down still. My rates, I think I can get lower now, even with what I bought 6 months ago. Because if you refinance to get money back, that amount of money that banks give to you, that's how much they increase your mortgage by. So if they give you 100,000, your mortgage now is 100,000 more. Now you pay interest on that 100,000. So maybe now my cash flow shrinks. Maybe what am I going to do with that 100 when my cash flow shrinks? Maybe it makes more sense to keep that 100 there and cash flow, and the loan lower, so the cash flow is higher. Maybe, or maybe you just pull out and it's fine. Let the cash flow be whatever it's going to be, and then dump it into new property. When I was going into that project, I knew that I will have to raise rents. My plan is to pull out all the money out, all of the money that I put in, all the money out, and then own the building for no money. It's possible I have to wait another 3 years, probably, maybe 2 years. I have to raise the rents, all of them. I have to season it a little bit, and then with time also, have the rates come down a little bit more, and then I'll be able to refi. Because if the rates come down, first it increases the value of buildings because more buyers come out, and second of all, helps me to keep the cash flow high while refinancing. Make sense? Because you're gonna put a new mortgage on new loan on the new amount, new interest rate that's lower than you had, even though you pulled out more money, but your payments are the same because rates are lower. So I keep the cash flow and I increase the value. That's the beauty. It's like magic. You can do it for 27 years, 25 years. You can do another 30 again. You kind of resetting. Yeah. You basically, like, you had a loan at X amount, then you pay it off a little bit, and you can have that new amount again spread out against 30 years. So your payment will drop anyway. Plus you put a new lower interest rate, it drops again. But if you're pulling more money out because you increase the value of your building, then the payment will go up. But now you're pulling the money out because the bank pays off the old loan and gives you new loan. And there's that difference that, well, we paid off 200, we'll give you 3. What do you want to do with that 100? Well, give it to me. Yeah. And they give you a check. And you get paid while owning the building. It's a gamble. Kind of educated and smart gamble, but you don't know. What if the rates go higher and you're not going to be able to get the rents what you want? Then the whole plan goes to hell. Then you have to sit and wait. And then within a year, 2, 5. But the beauty of this is that you just have to sometimes just wait. And the opportunity just comes later. But it comes while you have the real estate, Because first of all, it's going to get paid down. Any way you're making money, any way you're going to make money. Because it's getting paid down every single month. Number one. Number two, most of the times, the rent will be going up. Unless it's some sort of a period where it's a couple of years it's not going up, but most of the times with inflation, with cost of all the expenses go up and the rent will go up. But expenses is only half of my rent. but the rent is 100% of my income. So the expenses might go up 3%, and if I raise 3% of rent, I'm still 50% higher in cash flow than I was, because expenses is only half of my. So if I put 3% on top of $100 and 3% on $50, I make $3 and I lose $1.50. So I still make $1.50, you know. So that's how it works.